All right, everybody. Scott Pierce here at Listings to Leads. Welcome to the call today, where we're going to be talking about how to generate seller leads, how to generate listings from a pending listing. Could be your listing where you're the listing agent, or could be where you're the selling agent. So your buyer bought that property, and we're going to talk about that as well, or where your buyer's in contract, I guess I should say. So go ahead and type in where you're coming in from. Are you watching us on YouTube, Facebook, or via the StreamYard app? So go ahead and type in, and then let me know also, do you have a current pending listing, or do you have a pending listing coming up? Do you have a sold listing? Some of the stuff we're going to talk about today will be good for sold listings as well. So go ahead and type into the go-to or the chat area. And we are going to go from listingstoleads.com, and let's go to, I'm going to give everybody this URL, the pending marketing checklist. I should say walkthrough. And this is awesome, whether you're a listing agent, again, you're a selling agent. We've had clients, they have a buyer, they're in contract on a listing, and they add that listing to their Listings to Leads account, start marketing it, start getting listings from that as well. So you don't have to be the listing agent to take advantage of this. This is a beautiful playbook. And really, I think some of the best seller leads, some of the best reasons for engaging your audience, whether it's on social media. Your database is going to be amazing for this one, but also geofarm and circle prospecting. If you want to get more listings, you want to get face-to-face with more people, some of the tools that we're going to talk about today are absolutely phenomenal. In fact, we did a call last night with a client who was talking about one of the tools here that we'll discuss and how great it is for getting seller leads. So with that, we are at listingstoleads.com/pending. If you're watching this on a recording, you can go there. If you are on the recording, I put it into the chat, and I will pin it to the top. There we go. I pinned it to the top there. So you can see here the best quality seller leads for the money. And I think, for the last 10 years, at least, that we've been doing pending, in contract, active contingent, under deposit, whatever you're going to call it. We got all the statuses in Listings to Leads, and I'll walk you through those as well. But these are so phenomenal. Again, as listing agent, as the selling agent, one of the first things I'm going to bring to your attention is, we all know what a property description is. All right. A property description is what you put into the listing to talk about how great that property is, so that when all the buyers and all the people see it, they're going to get a good feeling for that property. Now, when the listing goes into contract and when it sells, that's a different opportunity for us to take that property description and flip it so that we are now talking to more homeowners than home buyers. And so I want you to look right here at that URL I just gave you, right near the top under Pro Tip. I talk about, and I give you two links to look at, clicking on the edit and changing out that property description to reflect the fact that you got it into contract. So the first example here is of where you're the listing agent, and you can literally just take what I've got here, you can copy it, and you can go into your account, add it to your account, edit it however you want it to be. But notice I've got, so instead of just the standard description, right? Beautiful home, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, updated kitchen, blah, 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 all that great stuff. We have completely changed it. So now it says, this home is pending. Our 100-point home marketing plan got this home into contract in 23 days, generated 18,000 views via Facebook and so on, and other marketing activities, versus the 457 views on Zillow. So they were contrasting our marketing compared to some of the larger websites, obviously, that people know about. We let them know that we got 45 buyer leads. All right, you can say buyer leads, buyer inquiries, 12 showings and 2 offers. So we do that because we want the homeowners that see this to understand that we got more buyers in the hopper. All right. Now, for example, David, you said you had a couple of listings that sold in May. So you could come in here and say, and we still have 233 other buyers looking to buy in Rockland, California. Does that make sense? So you could go in there, look at your database, look into the MLS. How many buyers have searches set up for that area, and pop that in there? Because the idea is we want homeowners, because it's going to be mostly homeowners that see our marketing now as it's pending and just sold. We want those homeowners to see, A, we got the property into contract or sold. B, a little bit about how we did that. So our 100-point home marketing plan, all the views that we got, the property. Then we want to talk about the fact that there are more people still looking to buy. And I think in this market with sellers, right, so many price reductions going on, we can't solve the pricing issue, but what we can do is let other homeowners know, listen, I got a home in a contract or sold. This is what I did. We got more buyers. And we got the problem is there's only one home and 18,255 other potential buyers. So these are all the people that looked at it via our marketing. And then we got, are you in your forever home? If you're open to the idea of potentially selling your home, please keep reading. Again, we still have 18,000 plus potential buyers for homes like this one. If you have a similar home or in the area, go ahead and text the price you sell your home for to one of our buyers. And then I got a link to the 100-point home marketing plan landing page. All of you got this in your Listings to Leads account. When you scroll down, notice I got a video here. This is a stand-in video for the idea of, and I really recommend all of you, right? So David, everybody else here, if you got a pending listing, take that property description above that's now been reformatted, been redone to reflect the fact that the listing is now pending, and do a video. It could be a 1-minute video, 2 or 3-minute video, but do a video. All right. You can use that in the social media post. You can put it inside of the single property website so that people can actually see you. They can hear you. All right. Get to identify, get to know you a lot better via the Listings to Leads marketing tool. So you can use the video in an ad, but I prefer to put that video in the single property website so that the ad will use the image. If I wanted to do a social media post with that image, the video like that, that would be phenomenal. As I scroll down, I got my property video, my 3D tour. All right. And there's my 100-point home marketing plan inside of the single property website as well. So you can see that single property website, now that it is pending or sold, I change it around again because I want to make sure that all these homeowners from my database, from the farm, from social media, all these homeowners see all the great marketing that I can do for them. Now, here's an example. Add pending listings where you are the selling agent. And again, this could be for active, contingent, under deposit, pending, right? Any of those kind of statuses. So here I'm going to click on this one, and you're going to see that the property description starts off the same, but now I guided another buyer client to the perfect home in Whitney Oaks, starting with preparing them for the journey and securing lender pre-qualification together. We built a detailed list of the dream home criteria, research, preview properties, goes to the lower price. All right. Looking to buy your ideal home. So this one is now geared towards both buyers and sellers. All right. Since I represented the buyer. And then I continue on with homeowners. All right. And then similar to what we did before. I still have 425 potential buyers for homes like this one. If you're in a similar home. So now I'm using the fact that, hey, I found the buyer for this property. I got more buyers for it. And now our marketing is going to be phenomenal. All right. We're going to engage a lot more people when we do that. And let me scroll down here. Yep. So again, we could add a video about how we helped our buyer buy the property and how I got a lot more buyers. So if you're a homeowner in the area, I've got more buyers just like the one that I brought to this property right here. Everybody see how powerful that can be and how you can put all of that into listings to leads so that you got one beautiful marketing package. And then we're going to use all the tools under market listing to drive people here and start generating some great leads. So I'm going to leave this here. We'll come back to this a little bit later. So get yourself over to listingstoleads.com. If you want to log into your account right now, you can. I'd love it to have you log in. That way, if you have any questions as we go through this, we can answer them together. Make sure that after this call, I don't want you thinking about doing this. I'd like you to start doing this right now. Take some notes. Make sure you ask questions as we go through this. Log into your account. If you're not a client, sign up for a free trial. Everything we're going to do today, you can do during your free trial. I'm going to go to, in fact, before we go to listings, let's click on success stories. It's right below the affiliate link. So there's success stories right there. And I want to, so here's an example of a selling agent. So again, her buyer got into contract and she used the nearby homeowner letter to get another listing. All right. It was definitely easy and worth to do it. You just need to do it. Phenomenal. I'll be talking about this. Here's Corey talking about the 13 listings in one farm area in 1 year. Right now, he does the nearby homeowner letter mostly for just listed and just sold. But if you didn't do the nearby homeowner letter while it was for sale, then you're going to definitely want to use it when it's pending and sold. Now you can use it only once and get value from it. But I'd love to see people using that 2 or 3 times, because if you think about marketing and lead generation, there's a lot of it has to do with repetition, seeing the message, seeing the progression of that listing going from being for sale, getting into contract, getting sold. So when I can put this powerful message in front of homeowners multiple times, I'm going to generate more leads. So again, the nearby homeowner letter, we'll be talking about that today. But if you got a pending listing, I highly recommend using it with the idea that we're going to use it once while it's pending and then again when it's sold for even more seller lead generation, more listings. And then you can go through here, take a look at some more of these stories. All right, here's another one. She went door knocking, got a listing with a letter. So a lot of phenomenal ways of using that letter with a pending listing. Again, either as a listing or a selling agent. If that listing is not in your account, let's say you've got a pending listing, and it doesn't matter if it's the selling agent or the listing agent. If you need to add it to your account, go to the green add listing button right there, top left. And you may have to go manual, because typically if it's not already in your account, you have to add it manually. If it is in your account, you can just change the status. So let me show you both. If you go to add listing manual, and it takes about 5 minutes, absolutely worth it. You'll notice here we got in contract, under deposit, active contingent, and pending. All right, now later on, you've got just sold selling agent. That's where you were your buyer bought the property. And we got just sold listing agent. Now for the pending, we don't need to worry about selling agent or listing agent as far as the status. Just select the one that's appropriate. We got the custom banner. You can change that, right? You got your headline. Mark if you're the listing or the showing agent. Add the street address, all the information there, the basic stuff here. Add in the property description. On the next page, you're going to add the photos. And then on the final page, you'll add in the custom domain that you want to use. You'll select the domain that you want to use. And once you're done, it's going to drop that listing right into your account. So again, any of those statuses, if you have another status that's not listed, let me know. But I think we got pretty much all of them set. And I'm going to scroll down. You're going to see here, I got a couple of pendings. So 333 Main Court, that's where I am the listing agent. And that 4,500 prospect, that's where I'm the selling agent. So my client, my buyer is in contract on this one. And then I represent the seller on that one. All right. So Randall, great question. I'll make sure I address that. So yeah, for every lead, there's going to be an autoresponder. I'll show you where that is. So yeah, I tell you, let's do this. Let's click on edit for the listing. And let me just show you a few things. So one is so videos in 3D tour. So if you need to add a video, you can do it by uploading the file. You can add a Vimeo or a YouTube link. So you can see I can upload a video. I can drop in a Vimeo or YouTube link, and I can even put in embed code. So if you got a property video, right, by the time you get to pending, you may not need the property video anymore, but you can still add it. I'm thinking more of that video where I'm talking about how I got that property into contracts. That would be a phenomenal video. I can't even stress to you enough. Not only would that be good evergreen content for YouTube, it would be phenomenal on TikTok, on Instagram, right? If you record it in the vertical, and you can always edit your video, right? I could take this horizontal video and then I could just easily re-edit it for Instagram, for TikTok, for YouTube Shorts. But then it would also make a great social media post on Facebook. It would be a great video to put right here like we did in listings to leads. And to the question about the autoresponders, right here is autoresponder. So you can see you got all your autoresponders turned on. And then we do have, I'm not going to click it right now, but there's a tab over here called follow-ups. We got buyer follow-up, we got seller follow-up. You can duplicate, you can edit, you can customize, you can add more. But for the follow-up, all you got to do is turn the off to on, and then all the buyer leads will get the buyer follow-up. All the seller leads will get the seller follow-up. It is so easy. One of our clients, man, I'll tell you, she got a 600-word response to one of the emails. She got a response last night to another one of the automated follow-ups. So the automated follow-ups are awesome. They work really, really well. David, when you say active under contract, what do you mean by that? Is that kind of like active contingent almost? So under listing information, what you might do is like active under contract. Sounds like active contingent. And then you could do here active under contract. Right? Perfect. All right, that's awesome. So once you get everything here situated, do make sure you got seller information. Make sure you got your seller's email and seller's name. All right, click save. And then just go to market listing. Now, you may have the listing already in your account. Maybe it's active. Let me just show you that. So I showed you how to click the green add listing button. And for any of you that might be new to listings to leads, man, I would go back. Now, if the listing went pending and then sold, yeah, I guess so. I would just say if you got any current pending listings or listings of that status, get them into your account as fast as possible, because then when it sells, you're going to want to be doing the just sold marketing as well, either as listing or selling agent. Some of the best ways to get seller leads. So as I mentioned earlier, if your listing is already in your account, so maybe it's just listed or active, just click right there and change the status. You'll change the status. It's going to recycle. The page will regenerate. And then all the tools will now be perfect and ready to market that pending listing. Now, we're going to walk through this primarily as the listing agent. You can just understand how it'll work as a selling agent as well. So first thing I'm going to do is click Facebook and Instagram ad. And typically these seller leads come in between $8 to $12 each. So you're going to see it is going to pre-fill location. I'll give that a second here. So we got the location of the listing will pre-fill. Don't touch that. Radius is 15 miles. If you expand that, you'll generate fewer leads because the budget you're spending will be spread across too many people. So I recommend leaving that at 15. We got a lifetime budget of $50. Now, if you have seen, and we'll talk a little bit later about the Facebook ad strategy, right? And I talk about some of the best ways to generate seller leads is to generate buyer leads, because quite a few buyer leads have a home and they'll have a home that they're going to want to sell. And I can generate buyer leads between $3 to $4, no problem. Most of the time in most areas, buyer leads averaging between $3 to $4 each. And so, if you think about it, if I generate 10 buyer leads, 2 to 3 of them are going to have a home to sell. Now, with that said, marketing pending and sold listings is so powerful. You want to make sure that you're doing it. So let the location, we'll pre-fill, don't change it. 15 miles, don't change it. The only thing you might want to change is the budget. So I might say, I'm going to spend, I might do 50. I might leave it at 50, but with the idea that it's going to be pending for a few weeks, right? Probably a month, right? 30-day escrow typically. So I'm going to come in here. In fact, I'm going to go to 70 for 7 days. Change template, change image and video. I'm going to go to change template. There's 21 different templates. My favorite is the one on top. So I like it where the main image is up on top. And then I got 3 more images right here. I'm going to change that gray color. Let me click save. So I changed the template. And this one right here is the best, right? The main image on top. Don't use the templates where they got your picture in there. Your picture is probably on the Facebook title part of it in the ad. I'll show you that in a second here. But I am going to change that color from gray, and I'll show you how to do that. And I can even change the images in the template. Let's see here. Sorry, change template. And click edit. Then there's the gray. So I'm going to change that. I want it to be, I want it to stand out. Think about the Facebook profile or the Facebook feed. Gray might be your branding colors, but I really want that to pop out. I want to make sure that people really see that as they're scrolling down Facebook. So that'll regenerate and that'll repopulate to the red. I could have added video here and just click create ad. You don't need to overthink it. All I want you to make sure is that you got a good template. Your images look good. Increase the budget maybe a little bit from 50 to something a little bit higher. And then I'm going to show you something that could make your life a lot easier. So I want you to make sure you're paying attention to your ad. So I watch my ads daily, right? I watch my ads daily. And for a pending listing, if I'm generating seller leads, I would say under $12. Here's what you can do, like on day 3 or 4. So I want you to imagine you got an ad and it's running and you're generating a great cost per lead. So you're happy with the cost per lead that you're generating. Come back in here and click on edit. And what you can do is you can extend this ad versus letting it run out and die. Because if you got an ad that's working really well for you, put some more money behind it. Extend out the ending date so that Facebook will keep showing it to the same type of audience if it's working well for you. So you can come in here, click on the edit, and we're going to scroll down to budget. All right, see budget is right there. And so if this ad is doing really well, I don't want it to end and have to redo it all over again. What I'd rather do is put more money behind it. So I'm going to increase the total budget from 70 to 140. So now it's 140 total, the 70 plus 70 in this case. and I can take the ending date and say, don't stop on the 24th. This is working really well for me. I'm going to go to July 1st. And now, instead of spending 70 and ending on the 23rd, because it's doing really well, I'm going to put more money and then extend the ending date and click update. And that way I don't have to let the ad die and try to rerun it. And hopefully I get another good audience, because you never know. The flip side of this is if in a day or two, your leads are coming in at like $16, $18, $22 each, all you have to do, and I got a video that I'll be giving you that walks you through some of this. Just come in here, turn it off, and then go back and just rerun that ad brand new. I do that all the time for people, because sometimes even some of the clients I manage, and this happened last week, 2 ads for the same client. They were generating leads, and these were buyer leads at almost $7 each, when he's normally in the $3 to $4 range. All I did is I turned those 2 ads off. I went back, just like right here, and I went back to the market listing, all right, Facebook and Instagram ad. And the thing that I did is I just made sure that the images in the template were in fact good. And so I'm like, well, the images are good, right? Location was good. And I just clicked create ad again. So sometimes you'll get an ad performing badly. You don't need to freak out. You don't need to, it's not the end of the world. Sometimes Facebook just gets, a bad audience. Maybe the wrong person clicked the ad to begin with, and now Facebook's thinking, oh, that person is the kind of people we want to show this to. And they'll just go randomly start showing it to bad people. All right, not bad people, you know what I mean? Bad people as far as your audience. So you don't need to freak out. You don't need to get offended by it. Just turn the ad off. Double check it. If everything looks good, rerun it. Again, I'll be giving you a video a little bit later towards the end of the call that kind of walk through some of the issues that you might want to consider when you have bad performing ads. All right, social media post. This will happen automatically. So there's nothing you need to do here. This will just post to whatever accounts you got connected. If you need to connect more, there is a button right here, connect social accounts. If I want to edit the image, I can click here, select another template. All right, again, I can change the color. Not sure what happened to my red before, but all right, nice red. Hit apply and save. I always want to make sure, I like the front of the house as the main image, and then there'll always be either 3 images along the bottom or 3 images on the side for the 2 templates that I like. And I want to just make sure that those other 3 images are good ones as well. Those are completely editable. I can completely change them. Yeah, no, Randall, those ads are going to run on both Facebook and Instagram. All right, great looking post. And then I can either click schedule if I want. Now, again, this will normally happen automatically, but you can just see you got the ability to manually do it as well. All right, next up, share on seller social media. So if you are the selling agent, so if you're buyers in contract, you won't be using these 2 tools. But if you are the listing agent, these 2 tools are something for the seller on social media, and there's also something for the seller to share via email. These are phenomenal tools. Unless the transaction is just going badly, you want to make sure you're using this. This is one of the best ways to generate free seller leads in the industry. What you're going to do is click the green send a seller button. The seller's email and name should already be there. Now, if you've already got it set up to get sent, you'll notice here it was already sent on June 17th. So I don't need to send this again. Was that today? Oh yeah, that was just a little bit ago. So I'll tell you what, let me go check my email. And oh yeah, there we go. So let me bring it up. This is the social media post for the seller. Check this out. We want the seller to drop this on their Facebook page. And they will. Look at that. That's beautiful. So notice it says, Dear Ian, even though your home is pending, we are still marketing it until we get it sold. So powerful, right? And so what we want Ian to do is take this, copy it to his Facebook page, and it's going to look just like this. All their friends are going to click on it. They're going to go right to the single property website, just like we saw earlier. So here's that single property website they're going to go to. They're going to start liking the comments or the post. They're going to start commenting on the post. And what I want you to do when the seller puts it up on their Facebook page is I want you to go like it and make a quick little comment. Don't need to overthink the comment. You can just say something like, looks great. I'm looking forward to a great escrow and getting your home sold. Now, there's also, let me see if I can bring up the e-flyer. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to tell you how this works in a second, but I just want to show you these two tools. All right, here we got Dear Ian. Again, that's my seller. This e-flyer has been specifically designed to advertise your home throughout the internet. All right, a little bit of information there. And the idea now is for Ian to share this with people that he knows via email. If it's a couple, you can put both emails and both names in there, no problem. But just like the social media posts, people click, they go to the single property website. So here's the deal. After you send it to the seller, right, green, send to seller, click send, they're going to think you sent it to them. And you're going to be CC'd as the agent. I want you to call the seller up, and it's going to be something like this. Hey, Ian, Scott here, and just want to let you know that your home's in contract. Everything is good to go. We got some of the inspections scheduled. I'll give you a calendar on that a little bit later. But we are not going to stop marketing your home until we close escrow. So I sent you something to put up on your Facebook page and something to share via email. We got a new ad running. We got some more posts going out here as well. We got some other great marketing that we're going to be doing. So if you have any questions, let me know. But if you can drop that on your Facebook page and let people know that your property is now in contract, but that we are still marketing it. Your seller is going to absolutely love you. They're going to think you're a marketing rock star. And their friends are going to get excited when they see that they're someone they know that their home is now in contract. This can help get buyer leads. This can help get seller leads. We've had people get listings, get buyers from this, close deals from this for absolutely free. So take care, do both of these. Do both of these. Any questions on these two tools? Do not skip them. Now, next up is the nearby homeowner letter. This is one of the best tools in the industry for generating seller leads. If the listing is pending, I want you to be thinking about, right? Don't always just think about that one activity, but think how that activity fits into the larger picture. And so if your listing is now pending, I want you to be thinking, I want you to go door knock or mail it to at least 100 homes. If you want to do 200 or 300, that's fine. But again, I want you to be thinking about the fact that you're going to do it again when the listing is sold. That way we get 2 touches to all of these homeowners with a phenomenal piece of marketing that works beautifully even when it's only used once. But of course, there's more value when you do it twice than doing it twice to 2 different groups of homes. Right? So when we hit the same home more than once, there's even greater benefit to that. So let me just download this and so I can show you what it looks like. And then I'm going to show you how to make a really quick, little, easy, powerful edit to it. And then we'll walk through how to use it. So here's the letter. So we're going to let everybody know, we're letting all the neighbors know that that this property is now in contract, right? Pending, expected to close soon. They can get more information here. They can scan the QR code, send a text. And then we let them know that now that when this home is sold, it will affect their home's value. This is so good to door knock with. This is amazing to door knock with. So now keep that in mind. Now, let's say I want to edit it just a tiny little bit because I got the home under contract with multiple offers in 23 days above the asking price. There's a little edit icon under each one of these versions. I'm going to click edit. So this is popular when there's an open house, for example, and someone's doing a nearby neighbor open house that's catered maybe. They can add that in here. But in this case, I'm going to say went pending in 23 days with multiple offers over asking. And I might just make it a little bit, just so those two lines are a little bit more even. So you can edit that as appropriate for you and your transaction. And I'm going to, now when I click download PDF, David, great question. The answer is yes. Now the letter is not, but we got a postcard that touches kind of the same points on it. So hold on one second. So now here's that letter. I just want to let you know that 333 Main Court, Rockland went pending. You get the idea. Now, the best way to use that letter is by either door knocking. That's my favorite. All right, door knocking with that letter. I take the little bags that we get from Amazon. So you can see here, you got the little door hanger bags. And if they're not home, I fold it in the bag. So you can see that right there. And on the back of it, just let me get it so it's the right size up. You can see that they can actually read it while it's even in the bag. But I'm going to door knock, and I'm going to knock on the door. And I've gone door knocking with people. When I went with the last person who went door knocking, she had like 5 or 6 good conversations with people, met even more people than that. And that was just one time doing it. And just knock on the door, take a few steps back. And if they answer the door, just say, hey, my name is Scott Pierce with Eldell Realty, and we'll let you know that 333 Main Court around the corner there just went into contract. We got 2 offers. We had 23 showings for the prop, or it went into contract into 23 days. And you're going to hand them the letter, not in the bag, but you're going to hand them the letter and just say, I wanted to give you some information about it. You can go to the URL, or you can scan the QR code or send a text to get all the property photos, details, and more. And that will help open up some conversations. You'll be able to read their body language, but you're going to find people, they're going to ask about the property. They're going to ask if you were the listing agent. They're going to ask you how much did it sell for. A lot of things you can't necessarily tell them right now, but you can start creating a list. So I would have a little notebook and a pen with you so you can take notes on getting back with people. And then if they're not home, just leave it on the door. If you get a door handle, right, kind of tie it in there so that it's on the door handle. And that way they'll get it when they get home. But this letter, now you can also mail it. There's 3 mailing companies I would recommend: Mailbox Power, Thanks.io, or Zaire Mail, ZAIR mail.com. And that is because you want that envelope to look handwritten. That's why a lot of people actually, they just, maybe have an assistant or a teenager or themselves will just handwrite the envelopes, because the more it looks personal. We've had people do, like, imagine a black envelope with a silver marker, or a blue envelope with a white marker. So there's a lot of really, really great ways you can do this. Please add this feed the names. David, what do you mean? I'm sorry. So Zaire Mail would be one. And then Mailbox Power. All right, Mailbox Power is another one. Now, the problem with Mailbox Power, not a problem at all, but you got to have a subscription. Zaire Mail, I can just go do a one-off. Now, Mailbox Power and Thanks, I think it's Thanks.io. So any one of these has handwritten font as an option. Now, there might be others as well that you can take a look at, but what you're looking for if you're going to use a mailing service is the fact that they've got handwritten font envelope, because you want it to look like it was personally done. That's the main point of this whole thing. All right, let's see here. So the nearby homeowner letter. So yeah, there's 3 versions. I like that version the best, the first one. So again, door knock, mail it. Somebody asked about the postcards and door hangers. All right, so we got that as well. So great question. You'll notice we got door hangers, which are awesome. Postcards, standard, jumbo, and then EDDM right there. And for EDDM, we got a few different versions. So, and then on the back of it, looks like this. So we got more options down here. Panoramic, I mean, we got quite a few options. And they all work very similar to the letter. So we're letting them know that it's pending. Big, beautiful image of the property. We got the text code, right, for instant access to all photos and details. There's a QR code on the front as well. And then in the back, right, again, just like the letter, we let them know that when this home is sold, it will affect their home's value. Give them a URL and even a text code. They can send a text and engage automatically with a conversation that will get their phone number immediately. And then it'll ask them for the property address for which they want the home value. And then it will ask them, do they want it via email or snail mail? And that they want it via email, they can put their email address there as well. So really, really cool little tool there. So again, door hanger, postcard, or letter, but take advantage of that pending listing that you've got. And you can do this as selling or listing agent. So don't think that just because you're the selling agent where your buyer's in contract, we've had people door knock that letter when their buyer was the one in contract and they got listings from it. So very, 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 very powerful. Make sure you get that done. Now, while we're talking about the farm, before I get to your database, I want you, if I go back to listingsleads.com/pending, this is one of the things I would do first. Scroll down all the way down because it's in order as it is on that list. But you see this here, it says sign writers. This right here is what your yard sign should look like if you're the listing agent. So I want you to go get one of these. Why? Because we want to let those neighbors know that that listing is now under contract, sale pending, active contingent, whatever. But then you don't want to do just that only. You want to get this and you want to get that on that yard sign. So when people see sale pending or active contingent or pending, then they see this. And in fact, we got 2 versions. This is a great one as well. You'll have this in your Listings to Leads account. If you don't, come over here and click text IVR and you can set this up. But if anybody wants to right now, real quickly, go ahead and text. The number you're going to text to would be 888-264-1910. And you can text 182-141 to it. In fact, let me do it right now. So we'll all do it together here. So I'm going to go 888-264-1910. And I'm going to say 182-141. Send a text. I've already got a conversation going with that from before. So it says, thank you for your interest in receiving your home value. What is the address of the property you'd like the value for? Let's see, 121 Tomlinson Drive, Folsom, California. Great. Thank you. Would you like to receive the valuation via email or snail mail? So you can see, and it's going to be a little blurry, but you can kind of make out a little bit, right? The conversation there. So that was sending this text to that sign writer on the right-hand side. So now if you got this one up already, that's fine, because when people send a text, they're going to get the pending single property website where the main lead form is the home value lead form. So that's totally fine. But I would put this one up there. So you got, imagine sale pending. All right. Sale pending. So all these neighbors walking by, they see the sale pending. Then they see get your home's value right there. I'll download this. There's a link right here, dirt cheap signs. Let me show that to you one more time. Now you can do this locally. Ask your broker, say, hey, I got a sign writer I want to get done. I got the file for it. Who can I give that to locally to try to get this done as quickly as possible? Because I want to put this on my pending listing. Your broker is going to be like, holy crap, like that's amazing. But you can also click right here where it says, we recommend using dirt cheap signs. If you go there, it's going to put you right here in yard signs. There's an upload file, right? I got legal rights. Click browse for file. And there's my file. I just downloaded that from Listings to Leads. Hit next. Full color. All right, beautiful. Save and checkout and get that thing ordered. All right, now again, you can do that locally if you want as well. And the next thing I want you to do, and I know this might sound crazy, but check this out. I want you to get a flyer box for your yard sign. Now, you may think that that's ridiculous, but people still do pull flyers out of the flyer box in the yard sign. This is just a paper version of the Facebook ad. This is literally the paper version of the Facebook ad. And don't you want homeowners seeing your Facebook ad? Yes, you do. So get the paper version, put it on the yard sign. So now they've got sale pending, get your home value, and then they've got this right here. Again, if you scan the QR code, let's do it together. Scan the QR code, boom, comes up. All right. The single property website comes up. And the lead form is what? The lead form is, I know you can't really see it. There you go. Get a home value. So that letter, the writer, are all going to help generate seller leads for almost nothing. Because once I have that sign writer, I can rotate that sign writer, right? The sign writer right here we're talking about. I can rotate these from listing to listing to listing. I can rotate this one to any listing I want. You know, makes more sense for a pending listing, obviously. And then once I've got the extension in my account, so in this case, 183710, I can just reassign it to new listings as I get them. Does that make sense for everybody? And David says, yes, it works. Yeah, and it all works together. Here's the thing. Sometimes people go, well, I'll just put this part only, right? Just the sign writer part. And that's fine. But I'm telling you, you want to get every status, because I want every status, because every time I change this from coming soon to just listed to active to open house, I've even got the open house one, open house back to active to pending to just sold, if you can do just sold. But every time I change the status writer, right, they're going to re-see it. And then if I make sure I update my listing flyers, and I got the sign writer here, you're going to get more people taking action. You're going to get more leads from it. I'm just telling you. So please make sure you get your yard sign dialed in. And again, listingstoleads.com/pending. And if you scroll down, you're going to see everything here in this list that we're going down will be on that page with a nice introduction or a nice kind of walkthrough. All right. Now, the e-flyer for your database. Your database. You want your database to see the fact that you got a new listing and contract. Again, either as listing agent or selling agent, either way. We're letting them know that this is now in contract, expected to close soon. All right, they can click here. they're going to go to the single property website. But check this out. It says, when this home is sold, it will affect your home's value. People click here. They go to a landing page. So to get their home value. If you haven't seen, these are so awesome. Completely customizable. So they put in their address, click and enter selling price. So on page 2, they're going to be able to drop in the selling price that they would sell their home for to one of my buyers. I would sell my home for, if one of our buyers loves your home, what price would you sell it for? $850. Right? Click next, go through it. You got a great lead to follow up with. So we want to get this to our database. Now you can send it through listings to leads. I can click send now, select the list I want to send it to. I might just want to send it to my seller leads. I could also send it to all my leads and listings to leads. So however you want to do that, click send. You could also, over here, there's a copy symbol. Notice I click it and it says copy code with signature. So if you're going to drop it into your CRM and your CRM already has your signature and you don't want to use ours, then just use copy code. And then lastly, we got copy code for FUB, for Follow-Up Boss. I will select that one, go into Follow-Up Boss, or whatever CRM that you're using, and just navigate to where you're going to send an email. So in Follow-Up Boss, it looks like this. If you're a Follow-Up Boss client, you'll recognize this. And there's one more step, because we're not going to type in. We're going to just paste everything in. But before we paste it in, there's one little thing we're going to click. We're going to click where it says insert HTML, or it could say insert source, one of the two. A little pop-up happens, just whatever. You don't need to know. All I know is when I close that pop-up, it looks like this. And I can make that, this is in Follow-Up Boss. I can drag that down, make it a little bit bigger. Look at that, beautiful. And then I'm just going to change the subject line. Another home pending in Rockland. And get that out. Get that out the door. Get that to my database. And now that's part 1 of 2. So part 1 was sending out an email. Now, you all are not going to hide behind an email. I know that. You're better than that. You are actually going to call up those homeowners around that listing, homeowners in your database, seller leads in your database. I don't care. Start calling people in your database. We got a phenomenal script right here, whether you leave it as a abbreviated version as a voicemail, or you just use it when you get a hold of them. You could also send out an abbreviated version via text if you got text applications. But you're going to call them up and say, hey, David, Scott here at L2L Realty. I just want to let you know that 333 Main Court in Rockland just went pending, expected to close soon. And I sent an email with a link to the property website with all the photos and details. And with the way the market is right now, I just wanted to make sure you got that and saw that properties are actually getting sold. If you want, you can text 1-833-10-25678 to get the virtual tour, the virtual tour sent to you automatically, right? And then just, as you're saying that, obviously, give them time to talk, right? Make sure you take a breath, but all you're doing is a did you get phone call related to a property that has sold. So even if they're a homeowner, and you can even throw in, so for example, they're in your database, maybe they're a 3-year-old lead, you've never had contact with them, and you could say, listen, I know you're not thinking about selling right now, but I just wanted to make sure to let you know about the fact that 333 Main Court just went into contract. Just with the way the market is right now, I just want to make sure to let people know that properties are selling. And so you leverage the fact that the listing went into contract, that you sent them an email, that you're following up with the email, and that you're following up because of the way the crazy market is. If you got them on the phone, there's 3 options. They either own a home near that listing, or they don't, or they're a renter. I'm not sure what other options there are, but we got options for all 3 of those. So let's assume most people in your database probably don't live right near that particular property. If they do, use the first version. If they're a renter, use the third. But let's say they own a property like 2 or 3 neighborhoods away from this one. Then I would say, I don't know if you're interested, and I'm reading right here, but I do free CMAs for my clients and VIPs. And I know you're not thinking to sell, but I would love to do a report for you so that you can keep tabs on what your home is doing month over month. It's also great for me because it just lets me keep tabs on what's happening in all the different neighborhoods. So I'd absolutely love to do it for you. Would David at L2L Realty be the best email to send that to when it's ready? Great, great reason, a great value, a great offer to your database. So if you're not calling through your database, you're leaving money on the table. This is such a great call into your database. Now, I think we covered everything for the pending almost. And I'm going to give you one more thing here. For those of you into doing video, who here does any kind of videos? Anybody? This right here, 10 videos for seller leads when your listing goes in contract. I'm going to drop this for you. And I got one more link I'm going to give everybody before we go. So now if you're watching this on YouTube, down the road or somewhere else, just go to our blog, listingsleads.com/blog, and you can search for this post, 10 videos for seller leads. And the last thing I'm going to give you before we go, and if you have any questions, let me know. I can hang out for a quick minute. But this right here, and I'll explain this in a minute. Let me just drop it into the chat first. All right, so let me see. Any questions on anything we covered? The last post I just gave you here is a couple of interviews with clients. So this is an interview with Craig Johnson where I highly recommend it. All right, $2,200 spent over 2.5 months, or I think $2,000 over 2.5 months. 2 deals closed, 3 or 4 in contract, pre-approved, out looking. Then there's another interview with our client, Gordon Day. Now, I want you to read both of these posts because I worked with him for a couple of months, and the interview here is phenomenal. And this was, I think, from June 2nd, so like 2 weeks ago. After that interview, he came in here and left this post. And then just last week, he posted this in the mastermind group. I think these are absolute required reading and required watching for all of you that are maybe thinking that real estate maybe is not as fun as you thought it was going to be. It's not as easy as you thought it was going to be. Actually, it is. It is not that hard. The problem is many of you are being pulled in 1,000 different directions from 1,000 different vendors. You'll see here, Gordon talks about the fact he canceled between 4 and 6 other vendors. I mean, he had so many vendors that, they all made sense in a way, but he was spending so much time messing around with so many other things. He canceled them and saved thousands of dollars alone from canceling them. Put everything into listings to leads and the CRM. That's all he, and he still got, I think he may have Redex, maybe. I can't remember. Maybe not though. In fact, I don't think so. Regardless, he listened to me, did what I said, and he's having the best year in a long time. He is going gangbusters. And you can see the second comment right here, or second post from last week. Take a look at that. And then this right here is the interview with him. So watch this interview. And what I always tell people is don't overthink something. If I don't say it, then I probably don't say it for a reason. Don't do it. If I do say it, then I really recommend that you do it. And if you keep it simple, you're going to find that you'll start actually generating leads. The problem for most of you is you don't spend enough money over a long enough period of time before you get wandering off into other things, right? You see some video thing on YouTube from some woman and you're like, oh my God, that looks great. And you start doing that for a couple of weeks. Then you start doing something else for a couple of weeks. And you start doing something else for a couple of weeks. If you just do this, for 6 to 8 weeks, you're going to see your pipeline. You'll probably have some deals in contract by that point. You're going to see the conversations that you're happening are just exploding, and that you can tell, hey, listen, if I just keep this up for a little bit longer, man, I'm going to have multiple closings on both the buy and the sell side within a few months. So you got to keep at it. That's the problem. All right. Are we good? Everybody good to go? I want to thank you so much for joining us. As always, we got the 5 o'clock tonight. Let me see what is on store for 5. Let me tell you real quickly here before I let you go, if you like. So 5 o'clock tonight. Oh, we're going to be going over this tonight. Awesome. So if you want to go over this in detail tonight, 5 o'clock, we're going to be reviewing it. Don't know if we have a special guest lined up or not. Maybe we'll get one before then. But in the meantime, have a great one. Thank you for joining us, and we'll talk to you soon.